Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to NGS Division B West, I do believe. We are just waiting on one more person, and we're going to get right into it. Tonight, we've got Game Freaks versus Subject to Change. And let me take a peek at the standings here. I mean, it's only week 2, but still we have some games under our belt. Okay, and going to the scoreboard, we see subject to change is 1 win and 1 loss, and Game Freaks has got 1 draw. So subject to change looking to move up that board, and Game Freaks looking to get a win in their column tonight in Division B. So. Sorry for the late start. Looks like a little patch, a hiccup there made me scan and redo all my files or something like that. So we are going to get started here, even though we are a couple minutes late here. And it looks like people were having to use the bathroom or whatever. They had to go do stuff. So it's just as well that we start here as well. So. I've cast Game Freaks before. It was a very interesting match there. Their 1 draw. And I'm very excited to see how they stack up against Subject to Change. So, let me look at here at the Nexus. Look here at the power rankings. I don't think there's too much going on here with these power rankings here on the NGS website. I think it's really just sort of rated by score, but actually, it looks like when our NGS reporter has ranked Game Freaks right next to Subject to Change, just ahead of them. So it's going to be a very interesting match, very close one here. So I'm very excited to see both these teams go. So everyone who's here, you've all tuned in for what I think is going to be a very good match. The first map we're going to is going to be Infernal Shrines. Game Freaks got the first map ban and first map pick, so this is their map. So Subject to Change is going to get the first hero pick here on Infernal Shrines. All the Diablo maps have been very, very popular in NGS as far as I can tell. The second map we're going to be going to in this best of 2 is Tomb of the Spider Queen. And you can see up there, I don't know why the casting tool I have has those flipped around, but rest assured, Infernal Shrines is indeed going to be the first 1, 2 that we're gonna see here. So we are still waiting for this next player. Everyone, make sure everybody is in a good place. This is a it's a laid-back league. Everybody's just here to have fun, chill out, have a good time. We're seeing if we can get this last member in here and get things going. I hope everyone's doing well tonight. I hope everyone's here having a lot of fun watching NGS. It's been a while since we've had such a popular amateur league going, so 2018 starting off right. It's going to be 60 teams here. It's been 60 teams are in NGS, spread across 5 divisions, so each team is scheduled to play 1 or 2 games a week, so there's lots of games going on here. And it looks like we had actually a person drop from the lobby, so going in the opposite direction that we want to here. So a lot of issues going on here. tonight. A lot of things getting in our way to getting started right away. I hope everybody is enjoying the music, enjoying the atmosphere in the room here. Hope you'll enjoy the Twitch ad that may have played when you came in to watch. I'm not sure if it was the Omen laptop or if it was that Top Gear ad again, but I'm sure you enjoyed all 30 seconds that you had to sit through and watch every bit of that. So we are going to have a game here really soon, I swear. I swear it. Someone strange seems to have just joined this lobby. No. Okay, looks like we got a sub jumping in here to replace them for this game, so we can go ahead and start. Okay, let me get the ready here from both teams. Okay, we're gonna get it ready from two. The map here, Infernal Shrines, we're ready here. We're gonna go right into this game. And we're going to jump in. Infernal Shrines, chosen by Game Freaks. So Subject to Change here gets the first pick on this map. So we're going to see who they ban out. Sonya, always a very popular ban here. And we're going to see how they do here. So it looks like Game Freaks here, starting with a sub. And in fact, I know from their previous game, they often have another member that is on their team. So we're going to see. I wonder. It's going to be interesting to see how if they bring that person back in who was missing during this one game to see how maybe their playstyle changes. But I hope Game Freaks has got their is happy with their sub as a strong player. So we don't want to have a situation where people are feeling bad about, being down their favorite player. But everyone picking their, I'm sure picking their teams well. And looks like we've got the Sonya being grabbed here on the side of Subject to Change here. Not being grabbed, being banned. So as we see the Sonya ban, very popular. I could see very often teams like to ban a mage here with a lot of zone control. Your Kael'thas's, your Gul'dans. ETC, also another really popular ban, preventing the first pick ETC from Subject to Change. ETC, probably the best tank at this moment. Also very good in this area. And looks like we're going to get rid of Hanzo here. Hanzo also very popular on this map and also pretty strong. And I'm not sure if it's just because of the map pool that NGS really gets, but Hanzo very often banned out here. As well as Genji. I've had games where both the Shimada brothers were the first bans for both teams. So I have to imagine we grab an ETC or Sylvanas. Oh, wow. Subject to Change. Going right for the throat, saying we're going to win this game early. We're going to win the point. We're going to try and win the point hard, and we're going to try and snowball as quickly as possible. So a gauntlet being thrown down to Game Freaks here in the first pick. Very ballsy here, especially because the Sylvanas pick, she does a lot of damage, but it's all very, very slow. And the problem is that although she does a lot of damage, she doesn't have a whole ton of burst. So it's really hard to kill anything. It's hard to kill anything once you have Sylvanas. And Lucio Greymane, a big duo here. Lucio Greymane always seems to be very popular double pick here in NGS in every game I've cast so far. So we're gonna see just how Subject to Change wants to enforce this Sylvanas pick. Because the thing with the Sylvanas is that, eventually you do need to win the Shrine if you're going to push with her. So we're waiting here to see how they're. I have to imagine ETC is not going to make it to the second round here. Only got a Kael'thas, and Diablo. Diablo is also a very popular pick. So ETC getting to the next round, and I wonder if they wanted the Diablo instead of the ETC, and they're simply going to ban the ETC here in the second round, or they could go for something else. So Sylvanas, Kael'thas, Diablo. Sylvanas Wailing Arrow could be very powerful, though. To help in initiation here, help prevent escapes off of Diablo, APOC, especially if Diablo APOC is comboed with something else. So looks like they're gonna hover the Stukov ban on the side of Game Freaks. Stukov, more area control, and since they've already got their support, looking to just ban out a support, maybe try and take one of their favorite one away from them. So Stukov eventually picked here, and we're going to see what they go for to ban. If they're going to ban a tank they don't want to see, or if there's something in particular that's going to shut them down. Something like, with Sylvanas pushing, anti-seeds can be very powerful. Chromie, your a Gul'dan, anything that will stop, will help prevent a push, especially with that Immortal coming on to the point there. So we're going to see which way they decide to go here. I gotta say, Lucio, Greymane, ETC, very, always surprising to see all those three on the same team and let through. Really, the only thing, more popular than that would be Sonya, ETC, Lucio, Greymane. So right now, that seems to be what the meta is. And they are, in fact, going to go ban the Cowman. Cowman not going to play in this game. So we're going to see. We have to assume that Game Freaks is going to know that it's coming, and they've got another tank in mind here in the second round. Muradin, very popular, although those little skeleton defenders kind of make it a little harder for him to initiate. With the Kael'thas, you might see in Nubarak, especially if you've got someone like Sylvanas definitely has an escape, but she's still, if you can lock her down, that's another member of your team gone. Kael'thas does have Mana Addict to protect himself in case of a dive like that. I'm wondering who else is left. I'm not wondering who else is left. I'm trying to think of what's been going on. We have not seen any Tyrael, but we go for the Arthas here. Arthas can be a little bit rough going into the Kael'thas, but it looks, boy, with the Lucio there to help him out, though, he can get some pretty good engages with Lucio speeds him in onto the side and really just gets onto the Kael'thas, gets onto the Sylvanas, and just kind of holds them there. Sylvanas has a decent auto attack damage, so Arthas can slow that down. They grab the Gul'dan. Gul'dan always very good in this, very good wave clear, very good shrine clear, and just either Gul'dan or Kael'thas always seen on this map. So we're going to see how they respond to this Arthas here. And I have to, if I had to guess, I would say that Arthas is going to be their offlaner and not their main tank. On the side of Game Freaks, and Game Freaks probably maybe go for something like the Nubarak, especially if they get a very cocoonable target here in this last round. But Arthas being picked up gives them a lot of flexibility for this last pick, although Arthas solo tank could be rough depending on who they grab. So we grab the Lili and the Kerosene, double support here, and the Lili really, there looks like they just don't want to deal with that Greymane and all the variants. So indeed, I have to imagine this is the second tank / main tank. Arthas kind of plugs up holes in Varian's weak early game, especially, I gotta say though, bringing a Varian in against a Sylvanas. Sylvanas is going to beat you early, and Varian definitely doesn't help with that. Now into the Kerosene though, so Karazim has a lot of escape. Lily very fast. So Varian maybe they're hoping to get that CC chain, uh, that taunt very powerful against a Lily or a Karazim. Um, and I wonder if that was the best tank to grab. Maybe it's a comfort of boosted account. Uh, love the name, by the way. So, uh, and I see my chat has brought up a good point, even though the 2 minute delay. Dive into Wailing Arrow can be pretty rough. Varian kind of doesn't really have dive, but he has a lot of lockdown engaging somebody. And both Varian and Arthas are, you know, no pun intended, but boosted by having Lucio. And there my camera goes off into space. I don't know what it was doing way up there. But we are in the game here, and on the side of heaven, we have the Game Freaks. We have Sichel on the Arthas, Fabre on the Greymane, Mayog on the Lucio, Big Wiz on the Gul'dan, and Boosted Account on the Varian. And on the side of hell, we have Subject to Change, where we have Linehouse on the Kael'thas, John Concarne on the Lili. We have, I have to look at this now, I have Math Problem on the Diablo, and Timmy B, then the Karazim, and Multipass on the Sylvanas. And it looks like we're going to go straight for the top Sylvanas cheese. Gul'dan, I realize they're going to have to send somebody up, so Gul'dan going up there to try and shut that down. Looks like the rest of Game Freak going bottom just in case, but now they appear on the map and everybody turns around, does a 180 and comes up here, but that power is going to go down real fast. Gul'dan's going to get some damage on there. I'm going to look at some talents here. Gul'dan not going for the corruption. He's going for the Q build, but everybody shows up and Subject Change doesn't back off in time, and Karazim just gets destroyed. So this 4-man here trading out a kill for that tower, and I'm not sure. Oh, they don't even get the tower, and I'm not sure how I feel about that. The tower, the kill rather, not that big of a deal. Although Subject to Change has sacrificed a lot of wave experience in order to get that. So don't usually see the Pursuit of Flame anymore, but it's still a pretty decent talent. Accelerando, of course, coming out in Varian going for the tank build. We're going to see interesting reversal of lanes here, but I guess just because they started up top, it has to be this way. So Arthas, we have a pause here going on. So we're going to take a peek at the talents here. Mana Addict, free drinks. Free drinks! I'm not familiar with the Lily ban. Okay, we got a lag here situation here. Devil's Due, Iron Karazim going the Iron Fist, so we've got a Assault Karazim. I'm not surprised here. And Lily going for a more healing build. I'm not familiar with the Lily builds right now. And Sylvanas going for Overflowing Quiver. All the Sylvanas level 1 talents though are fairly weak, so it's not too bad of a talent. So. We're waiting for lag to be gotten rid of here, and it looks like the powers that be just don't want this game to happen, having a lot of technical issues going into this game. So thanks for sticking around, everybody. Okay. Let me get a... Okay. We're going to go back into the game and let me get that back up here. And we got a Lucio rotating up here to join this 3-man up here on top. And it looks like Arthas rotating up mid here for game. It looks like Arthas maybe just going straight up top while Diablo and Lucio come down and they're looking for the big flick onto the Greymane. A lot of damage. There's the flip. Are they going to be able to finish it off? Karazim dives in. He goes risking his own life. Goes down, and Fabre debates out the Karazim dive, and that is a win there for Game Freaks. Game Freaks very good at dealing with a bad situation there. And we got yet another pause, though. And it looks like Greymane possibly might have gotten lagged out there. It's so, okay. All right, it looks like they are indeed ready. give him the countdown, and we are back now. And Variant comes in, slows down this Diablo. Diablo's going to take a little bit of damage. He's going to be just fine. Very dynamic rotations here coming out on the side of both teams. So Gul'dan over here, getting back some life here to clear all these waves, doing just fine here in bottom. Arthas now up here in the solo lane up on top. Sylvanas gonna just be pushing. You don't often see a Sylvanas up here by herself in this situation. Certainly very interesting to see a Sylvanas over here. Okay, she's not going to go and grab that camp. So she's going to come back here. No, she's going to start this. What is going on with that Sylvanas? But meanwhile, they grab the siege down here. Varian tries to invade. He's all alone, but everybody could be coming in to rotate here. But it's just Karazim and Kael'thas here trying to hold this point. Karazim going down very quickly, and that is Varian just wills himself onto that point. The rest of Game Freak's force a rotation, and they just take that siege. So Game Freak's really winning this early game in a case where you have a Sylvanas and you want to start coming ahead to the game, and they have a full level lead, 6-5, going into this shrine phase. Okay, Arthas going for icy talons. We're gonna see a rune tap Arthas here. Very interesting. Chase the base from the Lucio. Very interesting. No other real surprises yet. Energy roll on Kael'thas, and I do like that talent. I think it's a bit of an underrated talent at the moment. Oh, we have a Diablo and a Varian both diving in onto the various backsides here. Varian takes some Kael'thas damage back. Now Karazim doing a lot of chasing. Tim AB is very aggressive this game, and he is really suffering because of it. Has to back off. Gonna mount up and just kind of lick his wounds for a bit while Game Freaks has 35 skeletons already, and this is going to absolutely be Game Freaks, as you'd expect, winning this point there with that level 6 advantage, but at the same time, subject to change, gets that lead mostly back, and it's a half-level lead only now, but Diablo caught out by a big group by Arthas. Everyone jumps on, and that's going to be another kill, and that brings them up to level 7. So Karazim going for the Spirit Ally, and no other real surprises here. I'll only show you that Lily build here. And this Frozen Punisher doing some stuff over here. Big punches onto Tim AB, who, again, Karazim taking so much of the brunt of the damage in this video game. And they use that level 7 talent advantage to go down here and grab this siege camp. Meanwhile, Arthas up here, and it looks like they're going to be really aiming for level 10. Varian, though, they realize they're not level 7. Gul'dan getting a ton of corruption damage onto the side of Subject to Change. Sylvanas out of health, out of mana. Varian looking for a Q. Hits the Q onto the Sylvanas, and she has to just back up. She probably has to back, but she wants to stay here and help shut these siege giants down before they do too much damage. I'm very surprised the Sylvanas is not backing quite yet. Meanwhile, we have Diablo holding his own against the Arthas up here in top, and Gul'dan just really taking a good chunk of damage off of this tower here. And really, that tower at the very beginning, the only real structure damage that Subject to Change has at the moment. Here we have the noob spray coming out from, I think, the Gray Man. I wasn't able to see that. We have a 3-man rotation down here. Kael'thas is going to be just fine. Gul'dan waiting in the wings right here. Meanwhile, we have a Diablo and a Lily up here up top. I'm not sure that Diablo necessarily needs this advantage here. I'm not sure what's going on to Lily. And Sylvanas getting a bruiser camp by herself. You never want to see that. I don't often point out things that I think teams should do wrong, but Sylvanas grabbing a bruiser camp by herself is definitely one of those things that I will call out. So they take that advantage, and they use their 10 advantage to grab the front wall mid here. It's going to be a while before the shrine comes up, but they're probably still going to have 10 here. Oh, big damage goes on to this Karazim. Karazim again caught out of position. Punished. This time he's not killed. So if if Subject to Tank can get that Karazim in a position where he's not getting blown up in the team fight, I think they're going to see a lot more success. But of course, 10-9, they're at a disadvantage at the moment. And so they're just really looking desperately to get as much experience as possible before that Shrines pops and they are forced to team fight on the objective. So the full team coming down here, grabbing his Siege camp, and they want to kind of stick together except for this Diablo here, because if they're in the wrong place getting soaking XP, they could get caught out by a quick gank. But it looks like Game Freak's over here grabbing their camp. Impeccable timing here on this camp. The siege camp is going to be pushed up, and they're going to be able to easily clear this before this gets popped there. So it looks like we've got so close to 10 Game Freaks, but man, we have Lucio come up here and harassing us. Lily, here comes the rotation. They fake a gank onto the Lily, sending a rotation up. Varian tries to go the aggressive path, but the rest of the team of Game Freaks waiting in that bush. I'm not sure if that gank was 100% intentional, but it was an excellent job there picking that Sylvanas. Sorry, that wasn't a Varian going through the heart. It was a Sylvanas. The Varian taunted the Sylvanas. I'm sorry, my brain is very confused there, but Game Freak's going to get another easy tempo. What is Kael'thas doing here? Varian says, I'm going to hit R because you walked up here for some reason, trying to get those sneaky Qs, but Varian zoning out in the right place, and Kael'thas gets picked off, and they're going to grab this Punisher. So far, it's looking like a really rough game for Subject to Change here, and Sylvanas is a win more hero, and, you know, when you have a win more hero, you want to be winning more, and not... we have a big wailing area going up, but the immediate follow-up of the Horrify from the Gul'dan. The APOC goes out, doesn't hit anybody, but the Fear pushed enough people out of place that they were able to take down the Kael'thas, and that is one more person. The Punisher is going to jump in, and I have to think they're going to follow up on this and get at least a whole bunch of damage. Sylvanas got the jukes. Meanwhile, Gul'dan is just putting a ton of damage. Arthas doing a very good job of preventing Diablo from getting in on the action here in the backline, and an excellent push here coming out from Game Freaks. So Game Freaks really dominating this game so far. The Arthas waiting up here in the bush, not to show, and they're going to back off. They're going to be happy with half of this front wall mid here. It's only 13. Diablo comes in, tries to push off. Greymane slaps back. Big root coming on, sort of forces a disengage here, and Subject to Change doesn't want any more of this being 13-11. They're going to start rotating once again, looking for experience. Sylvanas comes down here to probably try and freeze this lane, get as many of these minions as stuck there as possible. And I think right here, like, is a situation where Dreadful Wake would have been better for being able to keep those minions stuck there longer. And Sylvanas, you know, with those minions there, you're not safe under your tower, and she is a dead, well, she was already a dead person walking, but even more so now, that Gul'dan damage coming out here. That tower does not like Gul'dan. He backs out, though. He's going to be just fine. And Sylvanas, the Sylvanas pick, and it's just pick after pick after pick for Game Freaks, doing an excellent job of punishing the mistakes coming out from Subject to Change here. And at this point, if you're Subject to Change, you want to just regroup, take a breath, realize you've got all three keeps. You're not gonna be 13, but you can probably fight them on even talent tiers at some point soon. You just clear out the waves. Your waves are pushing. You're gonna get plenty of XP, and you can get right back in this game. So, Subject to Change coming down here to clear this bottom one. Game Freaks possibly looking at this fort for more XP. Themselves, especially with this Bruiser camp. They want to enable this Bruiser camp as much as possible with some more minions. Subject to Change, clearing up mid, making sure they get all these guys for free. And it looks like I'm going to rotate up here. And this Bruiser camp, yeah, the fort going down here, and this camp got a lot done. Half that tower taken out there, but they're going to clear it up just in time. And there's another huge minion wave here, but that's just more XP coming out. And it looks like when this shrine pops, they may be able to take a fight, 15-13 advantage. And if you're Subject to Change, you're looking to go get that rest of that and try and force a fight on the Game Freaks as soon as possible before they grab that 16. But they opt to go down bottom here. Looks like they're going to be soaking up the experience here. Diablo not wanting to show a whole lot. Both teams kind of waiting. And now the 15 to 13, and this is I would have. Yeah, they're not going to be able to have go time. It's going to be 16-13, and that's going to be really rough for Game Freaks. And they're looking to sit in this bush. I wonder if they're wondering to like possibly surprise them in a bush if they were looking to force a fight. But no, they're going to say, no, the objective is up. We have 16. We're just going to take the objective. So, subject to change, looking to clear up as much as possible. And they may just try to hard engage on this shrine here. 20 skeletal defenders being taken here on the side of Game Freaks. Diablo's going to go check things out here, see how things are going. Varian waiting for that big taunt onto the backline. Arthas and Varian go right in on the backline. There's 3 there. Lily pops cups. The silence comes out, but Linehouse is rooted and bursts down. Lily is killed. Kalefaust goes down, Karazim goes down, and that is going to be an absolute bloodbath here. Diablo goes down, he's out of his soul, so he's going to be right back, but that's going to be a 4-0, 3-0 now that Diablo's come back. But Diablo with 0 souls, not as effective as Diablo, and that's a huge fight for Game Freak. So not only was it a 16-13 engage, but it was kind of a rough engage on the side of Subject to Change. Subject to Change kind of walking in and letting Arthas and Varian do what they do best, to surround the backline, freeze them up. The Wailing Arrow from Sylvanas came out. It was only enough to delay the onslaught of destruction coming out from Game Freaks, and this is going to be a big Punisher. Game Freaks hoping to get that big keep here from this Punisher. This gate is going to go down quickly. This Punisher is going to finish off this, and we have a full health Punisher going in. There's the jump and the taunt follow-up, and the big root follow-up, and Diablo chunked down to just 300 health. He's going to escape barely, but there goes their tank. Sylvanas steps up to try and do some damage. She gets chunked out, and this keep is going to go down. Cup's just barely keeping everybody alive. Big run on the 2. Diablo comes up and gets stunned immediately by the Punisher. APOC comes out, but it's not going to be enough as Diablo goes down. Sylvanas gets hurt. And the big fear coming in to finish the job. Lily goes down. Oh, but there's the Wailing Arrow. Gets the backline really low. And they're going to have to get healthy real quick in order to force this core. Lucio breaks it down as they push onto the core. They try to get another kill before they're all dead. But Sigil looking very low. It's going to be a very rough core push here. But the Punisher taking the brunt of the core damage. Everyone spreads out. Greymane gets on the core, and that Greymane damage is going to be the difference. 18-14. Huge victory there going in for Game Freaks. So Game Freaks takes the first game here in this series of 2, and well done by Game Freaks. Very rough for Subject to Change. Once they started losing early, it's not what you want to see with the Sylvanas composition, especially on this map. Okay, and it looks like the next map is going to be Tomb of the Spider Queen. Let me update the score. And I have to pause a moment as I use all my brain power to start this game. Make sure everybody gets invited. Make sure everybody gets to the correct spots. Where are all the captains? Da-da-da-da. Okay, we're getting these teams in here. And it looks like they're going to stick with their sub here, Game Freaks is. So they played really well, so it's going to be... and if you are Game Freaks, you're feeling very confident going into this next map. Although that map was, in fact, Game Freaks' pick, so it could be a weak map on the side of Subject to Change, and Subject to Change could be more comfortable on this map, Tomb of the Spider Queen. So it's going to be Game Freaks with the first pick. Here, we're just waiting to get everybody into the lobby here so we can begin this game. So very exciting match, very good sort of textbook ability to punish, especially if you have someone like Diablo and a Gul'dan. People that are out of position, they're going to be in a world of hurt if they can't get out. So it looks like we've got everybody in. We're going to give the old ready check here, make sure everybody's got their mage tables down, got their soul stones set, and their buffs applied. So we got one team ready, gladiators ready. And we're waiting for the next team. I'm so eager. I'm really excited to get into this next game. Both these teams, of even strength, and I'm looking to see what Subject to Change is going to do to get right back into this game here. Okay, all right. Contestants are ready, and we're going to go right into Tomb of the Spider Queen.
Tomb of the Spider Queen.
Yeah, that's what I said. Okay, and it is going to be the first ban here for Game Freaks, and I have to imagine that Game Freaks is going to ban out the Sonya, especially on a map like this, unless they want to grab her first pick. So I'm not sure how highly that Game Freaks values that Sonya. So we're going to see here how it goes. First ban pops. You can see the ETC ban. I can see, yeah, here's the Hanzo ban. They really think Hanzo's strong, and that level 7, I gotta say, makes Hanzo a very terrifying hero. He's able to just burst tanks down. And if you want to have a tank like Diablo, Hanzo's not somebody you want to be going up against. That armor reduction really just shreds right through Diablo's very large health pool. Otherwise very large health pool. So it could be a very good ban for them. And I'm very interested to see actually what Subject to Change's ban is going to be here. Given the Hanzo ban, I have to imagine they're going to do the Sony ban again. They thought Sony was strong enough to ban her first in the last map, and I have to imagine that they're not going to want her to I have to imagine they're going to think she's strong enough yet again, so they don't want her to be a first pick coming out for Game Freaks. That's their name. Going into their time pool here, Subject to Change, really thinking about their options. They probably got their first ban in mind, but they're probably discussing the rest of their strategy going into this draft. Really looking to make a difference with this draft. And they go for the Greymane ban. They did not like the Greymane last game, and they want to make sure he's out for this game. Also, Greymane, very powerful hero. So a lot of real favorites still left on the table here for Game Freaks. I have to imagine Lucio could be grabbed up here. ETC could be grabbed. Diablo could be grabbed. Sonya could be grabbed. You can even stick with the Gul'dan. Excuse me. Oh my goodness, I'm very yawny tonight. And once again, we've got, for those just joining us, we've got Division B West. We've got Game Freaks versus Subject to Change. Game Freaks took game 1. Subject to Change looking to get revenge here on their own map pick. And they do go for the Gul'dan. So Gul'dan was very powerful. They probably want to secure him for their team and make sure, and they can get one of those favorites if they think that those other heroes are strong in the next round. The only 2 picks coming out here for Game Freak. So grabbing that Gul'dan first, making sure they get him, and knowing that they're going to get another strong hero in this next rotation here is a very good on the side of Game Freaks. We're going to see what Subject to Change goes for here. They have to match. They're going to have to match the wave clear here of Gul'dan, especially on a map like Tomb of the Spider Queen, especially knowing that he's grabbed first. So Subject to Change here going to have to put together a nice duo here, and they go for the Sonya and Lucio, both very strong here. That does leave up the ETC and the Diablo for Game Freaks. I could see them going for the Diablo once again, but the Sonya very strong here, and that not doing the Sonya ban, they're going to grab her first on this map. as well as the Lucio. So Sonya works. I mean, Lucio works well with so many heroes, especially. I mean, Sonya has an engage with Spear, of course, but it makes her even stronger. She can use the Lucio speed to just chase down her opponents when she doesn't have her trait up. And they do go for the Diablo once again here, Game Freaks. I think Diablo is a very strong take. Diablo is really up there right now, and the Vala grabbed out here. And they can't have the Greymane. They're going to go for another very strong auto attack of Valor. Strong auto attacker Vala. And Vala, not as survivable as Greymane is, but has still got the Vault. And I could see them grabbing a very strong support here to protect the Vala, possibly even going double support here. That doesn't seem to be Game Freak's style at the moment. And something to change, looking to see what they want to ban out. You've got your main 2 damage dealers. They've got the Lucio. You could see a support ban here to make sure, just to knock one of them out, Game Freaks can't take. Or something that, I mean, they've already got, with between Vala and Diablo, you've got something that can stop Sonya's Whirlwind, but maybe looking to ban out another CC here as a possibility. They still need a frontline. They could ban out a frontline here for Game Freaks, and they ban out the Ariel, so we don't have the classic Vala Ariel combination. Game Freaks now looking for their ban. Think about what they want to prevent here. I could see another ETC ban here. Yeah, there's the Cowman shown. Seems like a pretty obvious ban for Game Freaks. ETC being a very strong tank. Really the obvious decision if you're going to ban a tank out here, and that's definitely what subject to changes lineup needs. Sitting here hovering on the ETC ban, thinking about it for a little bit. Murden could also be a possibility as well. And in fact, Murden is pretty strong here for a subject to change. This is a decent map for Murden. Not something like Infernal Shrines where your skeletal defenders are always getting in the way of his Stormbolt. And they do in fact ban the Cowman. He's not going to see play tonight in this match. And we go back over to subject to change to see what their picks are. Subject to change, really thinking about what their options are here. You've already got the Sonya, and with the Vala Gul'dan, yeah, Murden seems like a really strong choice right here. But they go for the Johanna because they're looking for some more wave clear. And they're really thinking about that last pick here. And Johanna, not a bad tank against the auto attack of Vala and against the sustained damage, more sustainy damage of Gul'dan. And they go down to the wire here. Really think about this last one. They go for Akasha. So really reinforcing the anti-auto attack nature of Vala. They're really worried the most about the Vala here, it seems. So Akasha looking to shut that down. And looking to just get constant damage on the Diablo, who's going to be probably together with his teammates enough to benefit from the charge strikes from Akasha. And possibly looking for a Valkyrie onto the Vala. So we're going to round out this composition here on the side of Game Freaks. They're going to need a front line, and they're going to need support. Not sure quite what they're planning here. They're really letting it come down to the wire here, making sure that they've got the right decisions. Akasha may have thrown them for a loop. Although Akasha's a very strong hero right now. I've seen her picked quite a lot, but maybe they weren't thinking about it. They do, in fact, go for the Arthas. And they're going to go for the double tank once again. That Arthas really acting more as an offlaner and helping people get into people's faces.
Here we go again.
And they go for the Chromie here, so that's their big burst damage. Looking to get some sand falling in the face of Vala and Gul'dan. Vala being especially squishy on the side of Game Freaks, especially with the Stukov solo support. You could look to see Chromie burst down the Vala in quick order with very little that Stukov can do. Immediately, of course. Stukov's got great heals and can easily solo support, but, a Chromie, it's going to be tough to deal with the Chromie rewind here. I don't think there's really a... See, I'm not a Stukov player, so I'm kind of showing my ignorance here, but I don't think Stukov has a really strong heal in the case of a Chromie loop here. So the Chromie could be a big game changer here for Subject to Change. As we go into the game here, we're going to be looking really to keep the cache alive, I think. That's going to be the biggest problem that Subject to Change is going to have here. So, we've got Tomb of the Spider Queen, and on Game Freaks, we've got the Sechel on the Arthas, Big Wiz on the Gul'dan, Boosted Account on the Diablo, Fabre on the Vala, and Mayog on the Stukov. And on the red team, on Subject to Change, we've got Math Problem on the Sonya, we've got John Concarne on the Lucio, Time B on the Kasha, Multipass on the Chromie, and Linehouse playing the Johanna. So both teams looking to go mid here, looking at the level 1 talent. So Chromie going for deep breathing, go for those big W's. And if she can hit all those big W's, that's going to be a game changer. But that's the real question here. Is Chromie going to be able to hit all those? Johanna holding her first talent. Charge strikes, of course, for Johanna. Sonya looking to do some solo lane action against the Arthurs, who have both ticked blocked. My camera goes a little nuts there. Linehouse steps up, takes a bunch of damage. Chromie getting a bunch of damage onto this wave here. Diablo going for the Devil's Due, and again Gul'dan going for that Pursuit of Flame, and Growing Infestation for Stukov here, looking for that bigger range of the silence here, looking to hope to catch the entire team. And it looks like we've got a 4-man rotation here for both teams. Subject to Change, definitely getting the easier wave clear on their side. They move up top. They're happy with this so far. They're happy to come down here and clear this first. Meanwhile, Game Freak's up here, clearing this wave, an option to go down mid. And are we going to have a sort of dance here of people going to different lanes and just sort of trading off? Meanwhile, we've got Sonya really punishing this Arthas, getting a lot of damage on here at very little cost to herself. But she is having to have her wave pushed back towards her. And meanwhile, we've got this 4-man finally meets. Gul'dan sucks some life off of Johanna, but not going to be a whole lot. They're going to clear this wave, and they're going to start moving bottom. And I'm not sure which team has the better wave clear here. Subject to Change doing a very good job of clearing all these wins very quickly. Johanna, of course, no slouch. But Gul'dan, not really a slouch either. And it looks like Subject to Change actually winning the clear here, but Gul'dan in a lot of trouble, but the drain life enough to keep him alive while the tank comes in to peel. Everybody's backing out super low. No one dies. That W from the drain life from Gul'dan just barely keeping alive. An excellent reaction from Game Freaks there. We have a quiet here. Sonya, I believe, winning this lane. I'm not sure if Arthas has had a tap yet. Arthas has not had the tap yet. Meanwhile, we have Vala up here, just sort of soaking this lane here. Lucio coming to bug him. This wave gets pushed all the way in mid. And Subject to Change doing a much better job of rotating, much better job of avoiding the early game ganks than before. Chromie gets chunked out, but also hits a Q onto Vala. They're going to trade equal amounts of damage, and they're going to come right back down here for this wave. And meanwhile, we have the gank onto Sonya here. 4-man, Math Problem trying to spin to win, but Sonya is not going to get out. Okay, we've got the Chromie damage coming onto that wave there, and that was a big gank for Game Freaks, and they're able to overcome any obstacles that they had previously and come ahead with that gank. A gank in the soul lane worth a lot. They missed a lot of soak down here Substitute change did. And I'm surprised they did not send anybody bot, and we have another pause. Looks like we've got some lag issues here. And looks like I've got some lag issues too. I'm dropping some frames. I'm not sure why that happens. I'm never able to recreate that situation when I am... Whoa. It says Diablo cannot turn. Glitched. Okay, boy. I'm going to have to look up the NGS rules here. I'm not sure what... Boy. I may have to contact an admin here to see what the deal is. Okay, it looks like he might have changed a keybind here, so it looks like we don't really have a technical error on the side of... Okay, they're ready to go, in fact, so... Okay, both teams are ready to go. Totally not turning in right now. Yeah, it looks like everything is okay. Diablo... Oh, Diablo not turning. I thought they meant in a circle, but it's turning in. Okay. Alright, looks like we've got a little bit of confusion here. Joanna comes in for a quick condemn onto Diablo there. Really, looking for the 13 coin turn in. They're going to get really close. Their Game Freaks very close to a turn in. Subject to change, not quite as close. And Game Freaks, in fact, gets a turn in, but Vala, in the meanwhile, very much in trouble. The Chromie comes out and eliminates Vala, and that's excellent news for Subject to Change. You don't want to have somebody dead when the spiders are pushing, and they're going to be able to defend this very well. A bunch of damage goes on to the Johanna, but she is going to be healed up just fine as the rest of the team for Subject to Change rotates up here, and they're going to try and clear the spiders as fast as possible. Sonya doing a really good job against this Arthas. Kasha clearing mid. And the Subject to Change backs up to their gate, try and get some tower damage onto this spider. Meanwhile, Kasha getting caught out. Here comes the Diablo trying to punish Kasha being so far forward and fighting this spider. Timmy B is going to back up and be just fine. Johanna's going to come down here now that the top spider is down. And the rest of Subject to Change coming down here. Big Q onto the Lucio. Gets him against the wall, stuns him, and there's the flip. The Gul'dan damage is not quite enough. Lucio is going to be just fine and able to escape there with his life. Chromie looking at huge damage on Vala, but Chromie is out of mana. They're not really going to be able to do a whole lot here. Chromie throws out a Q to get some more stacks for herself. And how are we doing on the stacks here? Chromie has 27 stacks already. Johanna taking a ton of damage. There's a slam against the wall. Johanna not invincible. Not able to pop the Iron Skin. I don't know if it was up or not at the time, but Diablo, it doesn't matter. Diablo stuns it out. She's not able to pop it. Chromie backs up for mana, but Vala gets caught out. Not Vala, Kasha gets caught out. Just barely able to get away. The Stukov's though not creating enough of an opening to finish the kill there. And Chromie is not going to get to back yet. That poor Chromie with that amount of damage. It looks like actually she is going to go ahead and back here. They're going to go ahead and give this well. And possibly for now that Johanna is back to clear mid. Gul'dan, meanwhile, has pushed this wave all the way in. And it's going to be a full level lead here. The experience going over to the side of Game Freaks from that wave clear from all those picks, giving them a full level advantage, and they're going to get to 10. And Subject to Change looking to turn in here before they hit 10. The other team hits 10, but meanwhile Kasha getting bodied by Diablo. The silence comes out to put some more damage on Kasha. Is going to be fine, but she is really hurting, and she's going to have to back up and hope Lucio gets an amp it up here real soon. Meanwhile, we have a 4-man coming here mid. Arthas is going to go clear the spider bottom. Looks like Vala's going to stay here top to try and clear the spider top. And the okay, it looks like actually it's going to be Gul'dan by himself. The 3-man coming up here to clear the spider top. Gul'dan by himself. The 4-man here rotating on this Arthas. Arthas very, very far forward. We're going to see if Sigil can get out. He's got a lot of room, but here comes a very aggressive rotation on the side of Subject to Change. Gul'dan rotates bottom to try and dissuade them. Arthas sneaks over to the side here and backs off. Subject to Change doesn't care though, and they're going to push hard with this Spider bottom with 5 men pushing with this Spider. They're going to at least get this front wall. Meanwhile, this mid Spider is going down. It's going to be gone quickly. And the bottom Spider is going to be gone quickly as well. Gul'dan getting a ton of damage, but here comes the Chromie combo. Gul'dan fears everybody to save himself, and he gets out with 61 damage. Huge Horrify coming out from Gul'dan to save himself from utter obliteration. The loop grabs Gul'dan, and Chromie nails the combo, but it's not going to be enough. The early heroic from Chromie doing a really good job there, and that structure damage from the Spiders getting 10 for Subject to Change. We're going to look at the heroics right now after that big amount of action going on. Army of the Dead for Arthas, Horrify for Gul'dan, Apocalypse, Rain of Vengeance, and Massive Shove. Very surprised. They're not going to be able to disengage quite as well, but maybe they're looking to just push one specific target or looking to use Stukov more offensively. There's one Massive Shove, and I have to think, I wonder if we're going to have to see if Massive Shove gets value over the swipe. There comes the stun to peel for this Kasha. The ult comes out to try and get the kill onto Arthas. The follow-up condemn, it's not going to be enough. Arthas is going to tap. Here comes a bunch of damage onto Boosted account, but there's the flip onto Kasha. Kasha pushed too hard and too lustily, and she gets punished for her indiscretion. I don't know what I'm saying here. Looking at the ults, of course you saw Blessed Shield and Ball Lightning come out, Temper Loop come out, and we of course you saw Sound Bearer. And I gotta think, if Lucio might have been able to save Kasha there with the Sound Bearer, but possibly didn't want to pop and just let her go. And Leap coming out for Sonya, so it's going to be a big engage comp here. Condemn into Leap can be very, very powerful. There's a Horrify. It's only going to hit Sonya, but a big slam goes on to John Concarne here. A Flailing Shot puts Sonya way out of the fight. Apoc is going to make Johanna stay there, and Johanna is going to go down again. Johanna, again, overestimating her tankiness, and they absolutely punish her. Everyone hits R and attacks Johanna at the same time as she goes down. They're going to take this camp for their troubles, and it is really the story of the last game coming in here. Another flip on the Kasha. Kasha thinking she get a bunch of charge strikes, and she does get enough damage. The Gul'dan goes down, and the Leap makes sure to stop Stukov, and Stukov goes down in exchange for Kasha has to stay in the fight, and Vala goes down. Diablo looking to get the kill onto Lucio, and does. Diablo not able to pick up that huge gem, and then Diablo is probably going to lose 26 gems here. An excellent fight coming in for Subject to Change, and I have to say, Subject to Change there has been getting punished, was getting punished all game here, just like they did all last game for mistakes, but finally they find Game Freaks in an awkward position on the same talents here, and they punish them for going for that camp too early and too hard. I have to think it was the heroic advantage they had there, but excellent Leap there from the Sonya, attacking the right targets at the right time. They're going to be looking for a turn in here, but a big stun on Diablo catches the corner there. Mouth Bomb takes a lot of damage. The Fear pushes people backwards, which is not what you want, and Diablo, rather, is going to take a ton of damage. He's going to get out of there just fine. Kasha, looking for the chase, is slowed down by Arthas, but meanwhile you have Johanna condemning everybody. You've got the big loop onto the Gul'dan, and this time Gul'dan goes down. Sonya getting a lot of damage. Vala looking for the kill, but she has to back off as Subject to Change here really doing an excellent job here with their composition, and that Horrify going wrong there, I think, is the difference between success and failure for Game Freaks. So excellent job coming out from Subject to Change, knowing that the major heroic on the side of Game Freaks is down. And I gotta say, Massive Shove got a lot of value earlier with the push against Sonya, but Flailing Swipe there I think would have been you've seen a different situation. Would have been a different fight had that happened. So Stukov throwing in a silence down here in front of the gate, really dissuading anybody, but Chromie sees him, uses that to get her W talent complete, and Sonya in the meantime takes damage from the rest of everybody. Soundbearer has to come out for them to engage. Sonya gets a huge Q on a boosted account, and Diablo goes down, followed by the Chromie damage, but everyone's looking so low on the side of Subject to Change. But Vala goes down, trying to find a kill. Everybody stays alive on the side of Subject to Change just down, but a Fear comes down. That's going to be it for Sonya. Sonya not able to use her spin, but a missed Chromie combo here makes sure Stukov doesn't die, but a huge Fen coming out from Arvis gets a bunch of damage. And I gotta say, if that Chromie combo lands, that is an absolutely different fight. Stukov probably dies there. The Chromie W going down onto the Gul'dan, getting a lot of damage, but Dragon's Eye not hitting. Arthas trying to bully everybody, and wow, I don't know if you're looking for the Master Shove there on that Johanna. I think Johanna dies after you push, maybe looking to get at least somebody away so that the rest of the team can clear up these spiders. These spiders still a threat for Game Freaks. Just a bunch of clearing going on right now. Subject to change. Looking to maybe, I don't know, throw an errant Q onto the fort there. Meanwhile, the spider's almost dead, but it's a huge wave that Diablo's going to have to clean up. And if they want to fight up here, it's going to be a 5v4 in favor of Subject to Change. And this, yeah, while Diablo remains down bottom, that's got to be a fort for Subject to Change. They're waiting for these minions to come in here. The silence goes down, the minions are cleared up, so they can't push onto this fort, and they're too scared to come in and take tower damage themselves, even while Diablo is clearing out bottom. So excellent defense here by Game Freaks, and Subject to Change maybe a little timid here. They're kind of just sitting around here. I'm not sure what value Subject to Change is getting here. Missed Massive Shove, but it's a 20-second delay. Diablo trying to stay out of vision, and Game Freak says, okay, you want to kind of hang out top, we're just going to get a turn-in. They really needed to be guarding that turn-in instead of not doing anything top. So 16-16, the Blue Web Weaver is finally pushing in for Game Freaks, and Subject to Change now has to make a defense here. Dang, I can't remember if that was the... yeah. So a bunch of wave here coming out, getting rid of these minions. The spider's going on fast, but Diablo pushes Johanna away. There's the silence, the push against the wall. I don't know if that was a stun. Johanna has to peel for herself using Blessed Shield and Iron Skin to get out of that pickle. So everybody wait for it back. Johanna anchoring, but absolutely destroyed. There goes a bunch of damage onto the Vala. That damage is going to be just healed right back up by Stukov. But misuse, and the break it down misses as the Q pushes the Johanna right out of Lucio's range. There goes the APOC to follow up. Chromie throwing spells into the enemy, trying to get some kind of defense here. But Timmy B is out of position. Cash has to stay too far forward, and Game Freaks really looking to push this advantage here. 2 kills here, and the spiders are still pushing in. They're going to get a fort, and I have to think, I don't think the spiders are going to die soon enough for them to get boss, and they're going to go down here and try to get mid wall as well. On this keep, a huge amount of damage going into Lucio. Lucio has to tap. Is that going to be enough to save him? Yeah, he's going to be just fine there. Lucio amps it up. He gets a bunch of healing back, but that wall is going to be gone. There's really nothing you can do here besides Chromie throwing out spells. Looking at talents here, I don't think we're seeing any real Gul'dan going full Q build. No real surprises here. And that's all the forts and 2 front walls. And I don't know, 3 front walls. That's all the front walls gone for Subject to Change. So that was a very unfortunate gauge there. Diablo really seeing that how low the Johanna was and gets in there and pushes Johanna out of the situation before Lucio can save here. And they're checking boss up here while the rest Game Freaks is missing. Subject to Change really wants to find a fight here, and especially if they could have fought over boss, that would have been great for them. So they're really looking to hang out here top. 0 gems on the side of Game Freaks, so they've got to go grab those gems in order to get a turn and really make anything happen. Subject to Change just trying to find a good engage so they can get on there. 19 going to be up here soon for Game Freaks, and Game Freaks really just looking to stay alive. They're thinking about this boss Subject to Change. They see Sonia's gone bottom. This would be a good time to start boss here. A 5-man gets on the boss here. They know they're on here. Sonya starts rotating up, and I don't know if they can kill this boss soon enough. And they decide to pull off the boss. Val's getting a ton of damage, and Val's getting zoned out by that stupid tornado. The Gul'dan Fear, though, gets Kasha completely out of position, but there's the loop onto Vala. The Chromie combo is not hit. Although the W goes onto the Arthas, doesn't get a kill. Kasha is down. Johanna is completely out of health. Sonya has to leap away. The Sound Bearer has to come out, but they're still pushing on. An amazing battle here for Game Freaks, but a huge Chromie goes on to the Arthas, and if they can't get any kills here, it's going to be an even. But the Stukov finishes off the Stukov. The Stukov Science finishes off the Johanna, and Sonya again caught out. Everyone looking low on something to change, but they can't quite speed them out of there. Lucio still not even enough to speed everybody out of there, and the whole time this camp has been pushing bottom and is going to start heading fort soon, so this is going to be a boss. Now for Game Freaks. And Game Freak's able to just push a little bit of advantage. They started the boss up here. It could have been real trouble if Vala had been stuck any longer behind that tornado. And if Chromie had been able to hit that combo, and Kasha not been caught out of position. So as I said at the beginning of the game, a big part of this game has been making sure Kasha stays alive. And when she hasn't stayed alive, Game Freaks has taken advantage and taken the fights. 20-19, they're going to have a boss. They're going to have web weavers here, and a full level away from 20. Subject to Change has their whole team back up, but they're going to have a heck of a time trying to prevent the core from going down here. This is absolutely going to be a keep, if not more, coming out. The Chromie damage coming down from afar on this. You know, Chromie is doing on her stacks. 75 stacks here for Chromie. The big silence on Johanna. And Johanna's very tanky, but if you get the entire team putting damage onto her, she dies really quickly. Here comes the Kasha damage out, and at this point, something to change. It's in absolute panic mode. Kasha trying to make something happen, but she gets pushed, and she gets flipped, and she gets destroyed for her troubles. I gotta tell you, that ball lightning looks very tempting in all those people, but it just doesn't do that much damage. It doesn't do as much damage as you think, and this is going to be game. Here coming up for Game Freaks. Game Freaks, excellent job there. Well done from them. And that is going to be 2-0. Game Freaks goes up over Subject to Change, showing that they indeed have earned their spot in that power rankings above them. So Game Freaks getting their first domination here, as we call wins, or match wins in NGS here. And we're going to see if we can't get Sichel in here for an interview. And I'm going to go ahead and start setting that up. I'm going to go jump into the lobby. Here I am in the lobby, and I am waiting patiently for Sichel here. Hello, Sichel.
Hey.
How's it going?
Hey. Oh, good. How are you doing?
I'm doing excellently. That was, you guys really showed a very strong showing in those two games. How do you feel about those two?
So we feel really good, except for the invade camp on Tomb of the Spider Queen.
Yes, that was a rough fight for you guys. You guys really thought.
Somebody said invade camp, and 2 people are screaming no, 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 and then we have 4 people on the camp, Vala pushing mid, and we're like, well, now we're kind of committed to trying to make this work, and so we stumbled for a little bit there. Other than that, though, I feel like, we were doing a lot of scrims this week, and I really feel like everything came together nicely. Fairly flawless for the stuff we were working on, at least. Things worked out very nicely for us.
Yeah, and I gotta say, watching that, I didn't think the camp invade was as much of a problem as the Vala not being there, because actually when I was watching that and casting it, I didn't notice the Vala missing in that fight, and I thought you guys had earned that camp after getting that kill, but they instead turned it around on you. But you guys were able to punish the mistakes of Subject to Change, and I gotta say, I think that's the defining thing for those two games there is you guys really were able to execute on punishing people that game.
Yeah,
and then the previous one
together, and when people were out of position, we did well with Diablo engage, with Varian engage to really punish people that stepped out too far, and then just great follow-up damage by everybody.
Yeah, and your sub indeed boosted account was on that Diablo, and he played a heck of a match. Every time Sonya was vulnerable, you guys all focused on her with a huge. You almost always had a huge stun against the wall. I think maybe I saw it twice that Diablo didn't get that big stun against the Johanna, preventing her from popping that iron skin and surviving your onslaught. So well done there.
Yeah, thank you, appreciate it. And yeah, we definitely we ended up going with the Arthas that last match, and we were contemplating doing the Malthael. And we just decided that the Arthas could do a little bit better zoning once that Sonya kind of gets up front. And then we could just zone away everybody else, and we can focus down the Sonya. And, no matter what she does, she's not going to be able to survive infinitely.
True. I did have a question on the draft. Were you concerned at all when that on that last pick, Chromie there?
We really weren't, and the Chromie did very well. And like on that last fight when we were pushing top after we came off the boss, and we were engaging, she ended up blowing me up, which cost us a little bit. So it worked out nicely for them, but we were really too concerned with it at all. Like we didn't even mention it, didn't phase us. We just knew the Arthas would be on that back line, and she would have a tough time being able to aim her shots and really, she wouldn't have seconds to sit there and really hit at any single person because I would just be on her the whole time.
Yeah.
And if I wasn't on her, it's because she was out of position and somebody else is going to be able to blow her up.
Yeah, and you were right to do so. I was a little bit worried for the Vala there when you had the Stukov as your solo heal and someone goes Chromie. That temporal loop on the Vala can spell doom, or even the Gul'dan, but Gul'dan only got killed by it once, and I think Chromie...
One's top lane, I think it was, yeah.
Yeah, I'd have to watch the replay to see if you guys forced the Chromie to miss the combo, but there were several missed combos there coming out from Chromie, so...
Yeah.
And then I think
we just had a lot of things pressuring them at all points, so it was hard for them to find a good comfort zone.
True.
You could see them find it a little bit after we threw a little bit on that camp, and then they were pressuring us pretty well, and they seemed to find a little bit of a groove, but we were able to come back from it.
Right. And I think I have a couple more questions. The Hanzo ban. So you guys that scared of Hanzo at the moment?
We just feel like Hanzo's overtuned, and the guy that plays our Hanzo, who's normally in our 5-man, wasn't able to be here today. So we just decided we haven't been able to play against it in scrims a lot because it's been banned. The 1 or 2 times we ended up playing against it, I think in the scrims, we ended up losing. And so we weren't 100% sure the best way to deal with it in drafts. So we just decided we're pretty confident dealing with anything else. Let's just ban it, whether they're going to play it or not, and move on.
And did knowing that you were going to go into the Diablo both games, does Hanzo fare particularly well against Diablo with his level 7?
Yeah, like I said, we haven't played it a ton, so we don't know quite how that's going to really work out. As we get more scrims and we get a chance to see it more, we'll probably have a better idea. But yeah, we weren't really even sure either way, so we just decided not to even bother with it.
So it represented an unknown for you guys. Got it.
Yeah, it just represented an unknown we didn't want to deal with.
And is the Hanzo player Zombie Chris?
It is.
Yeah, I hear that guy's a feeder anyway.
Yeah, he is a feeder.
Yeah, jeez. Okay, and last question is the Infernal Shrines game. I was thrown for a little bit of a loop. I was not expecting the Varian pick for your second tank. What appealed to you about the Varian pick over somebody like an Anubarak as dive?
We just felt like with third draft, we could get such good engage and really blow up squishy targets with the Varian coming in and then taunting. There was no question about it. We insta-picked it. We were talking about possibly a Varian. We saw their last 2 picks, and we were like, oh, it's Varian. We didn't even discuss anything else. We just knew Varian would round us out nicely and give us the win, and we can just throw Arthas in the solo lane, which we ended up doing both times.
Yeah, Lili and Kara seem very pesky to deal with as they can simply dash up, but not when they're taunted. So
correct.
Excellent pick there.
Yeah, so we felt like with a taunt on those, like we can just blow them up, and no longer can they get out how they normally would be able to, and then they lose a ton of value.
Yeah. All right, excellent. Well, congratulations on your first domination of the season.
Thank you. Really appreciate it, and really appreciate the cast. You guys do great.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you for the interview. Wish you guys good luck with the rest of your games this season, and I'll see you guys around. Thanks.
All right. Thanks, man.
Bye. Okay. That was Sichel with the that was Sichel, the captain of Game Freaks. Once again, we've got Game Freaks going 2-0 over Subject to Change. This has been Division B West. I hope you guys have enjoyed the cast. NGS is a fantastic amateur HOTS organization. Anybody from Grandmaster to Bronze is welcome to join and form a team. Of course, it's closed for the season, but next season I encourage everybody who's watching and hasn't jumped in to join in. We've also casting as many games as possible. We got a whole bunch of casters out here looking to cast whenever possible. Every single division, we're going to do as much as we can. We've got 60 teams across 5 divisions, so that means a lot of HOTS, 1 to 2 matches played by each team every week. So I encourage you to check that out. Go to nexusgamingseries.com for details and schedules and people pick games of the week. So you've got power rankings on there. It's a really fun time. And if you enjoyed this cast, I encourage you to follow me on Twitch and look at the Nexus Gaming Series community to find out everyone who is brain fart there. Everyone who is casting a game currently. I'm going to try and find somebody if anybody's the games are going on to host. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the cast. Once again, we have Game Freaks going up 2-0 over Subject to Change here in Division B West. Thank you very much for watching. I've been Ghost Dunk. Good night.